Hey everybody, Akash Inti here. Quick communication basics video today on receiving feedback. Talk a little bit about why is this important? What does it mean to receive feedback? And how does one receive feedback? If you guys like this content, like, comment, subscribe, share. It would be super awesome of you guys. And with that, let's get into why is it important to even discuss the concept or the topic of receiving feedback. Well, as you guys all know, we are in communication with people all around us all the time. And so in any communication that we have with others around us, people have thoughts about it. Inevitably, it's just part of the way their mind works. Well, those thoughts may be good, may be bad in their minds. They're simply thoughts, and so they're styles of the ways people communicate and engage. Now, we also know that in order to communicate with others better, we need to understand that the way that they communicate outwardly. In other words, each of us have two ways of talking, right? So we have the way of speaking outwards and the words that we say, but then we also have an inner voice that's always talking to us. Oftentimes, the way someone will talk outwardly is a reflection of what's that inner voice going on within them, inside of them. So if you observe the way someone talks, you get a glimpse of the voice, the inner voice that's talking. And we're never going to know all of the voices that are talking in someone's head because there's thousands of them. It depends on the person. Some people have only a couple. I think others have hundreds. So I don't think it really says one thing or another about a person. It's simply just part of being a human being. The idea, though, is what's the voice that's being spoken is typically, from my experience and what I've observed about myself, is the voice that is being spoken internally. And oftentimes just so that's something I've observed. And so with that, it's important to have the understanding and the context that by learning the way others communicate to us, we have a good sense of how we can tailor our communication to them to get an idea across to them. In other words, if you speak to someone in the same way and use the same words, the same tonality, the same body language that they use, and you acutely attune your communication style to them, they'll feel like they really understand you. So, key concept here. Now, what does this have to do with receiving feedback? Well, if you can learn the ways, if you can intake when others tell you or communicate to you outwardly some type of information that they want you to either change, to change. If you desire to change that because it's in your best interest, then find the ways that they talk about that particular subject and mirror that way of talking, so that you make sure you're communicating in their own voice, if you will, or their own language. Super huge concept and idea, in the sense of, by becoming even slightly more aware of this and noticing the ways that others will communicate, you can get a good sense of how their mind moves, how it's organized, and the ways that that a person's mind develops the world around them. This is, again, critical in the sense of how you communicate to someone else. So we talked about why is this important. We talked a little bit about what is receiving feedback. It's when someone comes to you and says, I'd like you to change your behavior. You have an option at that point. Do you want to change your behavior or not? If you do want to change your behavior because it suits your best interests, this is the way you go about doing this. If you don't, then that's not the way that you don't have to receive their feedback. You're just like, done. I don't need to, I'm not subjecting myself to this. So recognize that. And lastly, if it's someone that you really want to, depending on the level of the relationship, so if it's something that you want as a short-term relationship, you don't necessarily need to take feedback from someone all too well. You could just be like, F you. If you want to continue a longer-term relationship, though, with this person or this entity, make sure that you
enjoy.
Thank you very much. Make sure that you I lost my train of thought. Make sure that you receive that feedback as gracefully as possible. Anyways, I leave you guys with this. Keep up, thrive, and stay sexy. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Lastly, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next